we're going to go on to the Carolina Panthers, who are 6-0 right now and leading the NFC, NFC South. And the question being thrown around is, are the Panthers the real deal? Should people take them seriously? Is Cam Newton worthy of these MVP conversations? It's a lot of stuff that goes into it. But I mean, at the end of the day, they've gone into people's stadiums, people have come into their stadiums, and they come out with no losses. So, Khalid, I'm gonna start off with you. How valid do you think it is that, how valid do you think the Carolina Panthers 6-0 record is?
I mean, they won them, so it's pretty valid. They just they look as a team. Well, Cam Newton himself, he's just kind of shaky. I wouldn't put him in the MVP conversation already because he's not the best quarterback and he's not at that elite level yet. So you can't really put him in that MVP conversation. But their team altogether, their offense is doing it great. Their defense is actually stepping up, even though they have a weak run defense. They just I understand the 6-0. I see that they played playing at a higher level, and they definitely deserve it because I mean they did beat the Seahawks with Cam Chancellor on it, and who else? And they beat the Eagles this past weekend, so they are definitely playing as a high they playing as elite, not elite team, but a very great team. So I mean they deserve the 6-0. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, I'll come back to what you just said. Rudy, what do you think about the Panthers?
The Panthers, led by my man Super Cam, are not the real deal. They are, I want to say, a team that's lucky with the circumstances that they're in. They don't have a very strong schedule. They have a quarterback. To address that, no, not at all. He's not the MVP. I don't think he should be in MVP talks. Tom Brady is the only person that needs to be considered the MVP of this league right now. But the man Cam Newton, if there was an award for having the most heart or just winning, then maybe we could give that to him because he's the only quarterback I know since Vince Young that can go into a game, throw 3 picks, maybe run a touchdown at the end of the game and still win. That defense is responsible for about 85% of their wins. The offense is doing not much to really help. They played an Eagles team that's been up and down with horrible quarterback play, a Seahawks team who doesn't really know who they are, and a bevy of a whole bunch of other scrubs. Then you look at the rest of their schedule, they still have to play the woeful AFC South. They get to play the Jaguars, Titans, and Colts. So that's possibly 3 more wins. So you're looking at 9 in whatever they're going to finish the season at. They get to play the Saints, the Buccaneers, and the Falcons once or twice. They're going to beat the Buccaneers. Jameis Winston can't do it by himself. They have no defense out there. The Saints have no defense to stop Cam Newton, so they're going to beat them. The Falcons give them their best shot, and I lost faith in the Falcons the previous 2 weeks. So I think that they're very lucky with who they get to play against, and once they play a real team, they will be exposed. Not saying I'm not rooting for Cam. I like Cam. I like Kuechly. I like the team. They're just not as real as people think they are.
All right, Rashad, let me hear what you think about them.
How can both of y'all say that they're not that real when Cam is doing this right here? That's what I'm gonna say. Why he should be. He's running for MVP right now. Top runner for MVP. He's doing it with a team with no receivers. His star receivers hurt. He got a tight end who's making all this play. A tight end now. Tight end can't get open on every single play now.
Sounds like Tom Brady.
No, Tom Brady. You telling me Julian Edelman and Damian Amendola can't do anything? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying. You said a
Gronk
tight end.
Gronk makes plays, but Julian Edelman makes plays too.
You said that a tight end makes all their plays. Gronk makes
does not make all their
70% of their plays.
No.
Gronk makes some. What running game do the Patriots have? Wait, hold on. What running game do the Patriots have? Last time I checked, the Panthers have a great running game. Last time I checked, the Panthers have a great defense. Last time I checked, Cam Newton's throwing 3 interceptions and having to run the ball by himself. So, yeah, he's a good player.
You take that away from you take that his ability to run away from him?
And he's going to be a scrub. He's going to be a scrub.
He's going to be a scrub?
If you take the ability for him to run the ball, he's going to be a pedestrian quarterback. If you take the ability to run away from Cam Newton, he's Josh Freeman.
No.
If you take the ability to run away from Cam Newton, he's Josh Freeman.
I got a question. So what's Russell Wilson?
I don't know what to call Russell Wilson because he's not a Drew Brees. He scrambles around, waits for his wide receivers to run a broken route, and throws
if
the
you
ball
take the ability to run away from Russell Wilson,
if you
what
take
is
the
he?
ability to run away from Russell Wilson, he's not very good either.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to ask that question.
You can't.
I'm not gonna say one without the other.
Yeah,
Same thing with Colin Kaepernick. They took the ability to run away from him.
Man,
Look what he's doing.
But that's Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick isn't Cam Newton.
I
he's
think
not-
you're putting
he's
way
not-
too
he's
much
not
stock
Russell
in
Wilson.
Cam Newton's
Yeah.
throwing ability here. Let us
You
not
can't
forget,
play-
regardless of
What
what,
play
regardless
beat
of
the
what,
Seahawks?
what?
What play beat the Seahawks? A pass play at the middle, passing, not running.
I mean,
Passing.
every dog has its day. Everybody gets lucky once in a while. It
You can't.
happens.
6-0 isn't always 6-0 isn't lucky.
Yeah, against
me-
scrub team.
Let me give
Every
y'all.
team, every
can
team
you-
is a
can
win.
you-
Every
can you
team
say-
can win in the NFL.
Hold on, let me
Any
for-
team can win
hold
in
on,
the
hold
NFL,
on, hold
but
on,
are
y'all.
you not
Hold on.
acknowledging that some teams are better than
Wait,
others in
hold
the
on,
NFL?
hold on, real quick. Let me, for those watching, let me give y'all Cam Newton's stats. So on the season, he has 1,275 passing yards. He has 9 passing touchdowns, 4 rushing touchdowns. He's thrown 7 interceptions. He has a completion percentage of 55.8%, and he has a passer rating of 78.4. Your passer rating is out of 100. So in the games they have played, like Rudy listed, they played the Jaguars for the first game of the season.
Horrible.
They played the Texans.
Horrible.
They played the Saints.
Not that good. They're not. They're not.
No, at this point in time, they're not that good. But starting the
They
season
could
out,
be good, but what I'm
starting
saying
the season
is
out,
not that good. That's 3 of
they
the 6
played the,
wins.
but these are divisional games.
Time out.
Yeah,
Divisional
divisional
games
games are different.
Oh,
These
okay,
are
that's
divisional
still.
games.
But your
And-
divisional games, you can still play a scrub team. Look at the AFC.
No,
South.
but I'm saying you can still play scrub teams, but divisional games you never know which way they're gonna go. Divisional games, for whatever reason, they're just different than a regular game. But
I get
going
you,
on,
but speaking
but
on difficulty
they-
of schedule, the Saints are not a difficult team.
they played the Bucks.
Horrible.
They played the Seahawks.
Okay,
and they
that's
played-
one quality win.
They played the Eagles.
And the Eagles have not been that good. So
But
that's
it's
5
still
out of
a
6.
quality team.
That is 5
The
out of
Eagles are
6.
still-
I want you to look at every team they played, every single team they played aside from the Seahawks, and it might be what the Seahawks has a losing
But
record.
the Eagles right now, the Eagles got it going now. They got DeMarco Murray going and everything. They got
So the Eagles got it
They're
going
still
off of
together,
one
but they
win and
lost.
then a loss the following
no.
week.
I'm saying they have all their pieces going now.
You wanna do
So
me
you
a
cannot
favor?
say they
You want to do me a favor?
bad
You want
team.
to tell me what the record is of all those teams you listed? Because every single team you listed has a losing record, maybe except for the Seahawks, and I'm pretty sure they're 3-4.
The Seahawks, they are.
So you're telling me that you think a team is legit because every single team that they have played has a losing record and is horrible at something, and they just happen to eke out horrible victories against them. I'm sorry. They're not real. They'll go to the playoffs. They'll probably win their division. But when they play a real team,
They
a
will
real
win.
deal team, they will
The
not
Seahawks
win.
is a real deal team.
No, they are not. They are not the same Seahawks for the last
They're-
2
they're not-
years.
they're
They don't
not
know
the
what
same
they're doing
Seahawks.
out there.
3-4.
So
Which
every
two of those
single
losses
team,
came with
so
no Cam.
every single team that they have played has a losing record. That what else can I say about that? It's not like they're beating world beaters here. They haven't beat the Bengals, the Patriots, the Hawks, the Falcons, and all those other teams. They're beating the Jaguars, the Texans who were just losing 41-0 at halftime, not in the
That's
game,
one game.
at halftime. Oh my God, they lose like that every game.
No.
They lose like that every single game they
No.
play
I know
in.
that
They have a quarterback controversy between Ryan Mallett and Brian Hoyer, 2 guys who couldn't be 12th round draft picks. They are a horrible team. They have not played quality teams. When they play a good team and win, I will come on this show. I will come back on this show and say to anyone watching and you 3 that they are the real deal. But until they play a quality team, I will not give them that allowance.
But so the Seattle Seahawks aren't quality.
No.
They
are not the same. They are not the exact same Seahawks.
But they're still the
team that you're
Seahawks.
used to seeing.
They're still the Seahawks.
That's like me
They
saying
started off
time out.
0-2
That's
with
like
no
me
Cam
saying that the
Chancellor.
Rams are the same Rams because they used to be the greatest show on turf. That's like me
Not
saying
the
their
same
offense
thing.
is just as good because they were the greatest show on turf. That defense is not the same
Can
defense.
you name 3 people who left
Who?
from the Seahawks?
First of all, they lost pieces on that offensive line in that
They lost-
horrible,
they lost
horrible
their
trade,
tackle.
in that horrible
They
trade.
lost their tackle. One tackle.
Okay,
Who
but
else
they lost a
Who else
great
have they
tackle.
lost?
They
did-
lost
I
a
mean, they
great
lost center,
tackle
lost
and a
center,
horrible
center.
trade for Jimmy
lost their
Graham,
center.
who they don't even use, or their center, and a horrible trade for a tight end that they don't use.
He's actually
They didn't-
for the
they-
past 2 games has been going off.
Okay, but
Past 2 games.
The past
they played
how many games?
Panthers.
How many games have been played in this season so far? 7.
But it's about the they
2 games
he
out of
played
7.
2 games ago. They played.
2 games,
games
ago,
ago, they played.
and they lost.
I said the past 2 games, Jimmy Graham's been going off.
Okay, but they
Jimmy
still,
Graham has-
but they
Jimmy Graham has
still
been part of the
lost the
offense.
game, correct? 2 games ago they
lost,
played the Panthers,
which
and they
supports
still
my case.
and they still lost
that
the game.
That the
correct?
Panthers are a real deal team.
That doesn't really support your case because they're not beating teams that they're supposed to be beating. They beat the 49ers. Whoop-de-doo. They're horrible. You want to tell me who the Seahawks have
You
beaten?
still haven't
who
told me.
they've
You still
lost
haven't told me the people they lost because they haven't really
Seahawks.
lost pieces.
to? You cannot lose pieces and still not be the same team. Don't get that mistaken. The Texans went to the playoffs and had the exact same team the next year and won 4 games. You cannot lose pieces and still. Let me add on to that. The Texans didn't lose any pieces. Added Vince Wilfork, a healthy Jadeveon Clowney, and more pieces to that team, and are worse. You can be a worse team with the same players. The Seahawks are not the same Seahawks of 2 years ago. They probably will not win that division. If the 2 teams that coming out of that division right now to go to the playoffs are most likely the Cardinals and the Rams.
If we're going back to Texas now, if we're going to talk about when they made the playoffs, you got to talk about how good Matt Schaub was playing that year. You got to talk about how good he was playing.
The year that he
dropped off.
You mean the year that Matt Schaub, so because
he dropped off.
Quarterback play
dropped off.
He's helping me out here. So they had the exact same team, but players
The
dropped
quarterback-
off. So the Seahawks have the exact same team.
Russell Wilson's playing the same way he played.
But is his offensive line saying the same way they played?
They lost
No.
one piece on the offensive line.
Has he not been under more pressure and been sacked more this year?
But he still has to.
Time out. We have 2 other
he
people
still
on
does
this
the same
panel.
thing.
We have 2 other people on this panel. Has he not been under more duress and been sacked more this year?
He did lose his
Has
center.
he looked
lost
worse?
his Pro
Has he
Bowl
not
center.
looked worse because his offensive line play hasn't been that good?
Yeah. He
Did
lost
they
his
not
center,
just
so-
lose a game to the Rams because he was getting swarmed by that monster defensive line, where last year he was under as much duress because they had a center who's a Pro Bowl center who can point out where everyone's going, what everyone's doing. His play has declined, thus their play has declined. That secondary's play is not the same as it has been. Their play has declined. They have miscommunication in the secondary that's supposed to be the best secondary in the league, who's not playing like it whatsoever. They're on a decline. However way you look at it, they didn't lose any pieces, but they're on a decline. So you know what? I'll give you, they beat a decent to maybe possibly good Seahawks team that will most likely not make the playoffs due to bad coaching, bad moves, players not communicating the right way. So I will give you 1 to 2 wins of their 6 that may be quality, but you cannot tell me that wins against the Jaguars, Buccaneers, Saints, and Eagles, who have been absolutely horrid until 1 week ago, are quality wins. You cannot argue that with me, because when you have Sam Bradford at quarterback, you don't have a good chance of winning anything.
All right, let me ask a question to what Colin. So actually the both of you, because Colin, what do you consider that dictates a team being elite? Because you said they're not an elite team, but they haven't lost a game. And from the statistics, they on defense, their defense ranks 6th in passing yards defense. In run defense, the defense ranks 12th. In total yards, the defense ranks 7th. And in total points, their defense ranks 5th. So yeah, their defense is legit. So and you said they're not an elite team, but yet they rank amongst the best of the best teams on defense. And offense, they're 5th in rushing yards. And in total points, they're 9th. So they're top 10 in total points. Yeah, they're putting points up.
No receivers.
They're putting points up.
With a 5th ranked rushing game.
But
that factors into this.
But okay, so I'll give you teams that are ahead of them in rushing. In Arizona's 4th, Pittsburgh's 3rd, Atlanta's 2nd, Seattle's 1st. Now on the total points category, the only team from that what I just said is Arizona and Atlanta. Pittsburgh isn't ranked in total points, so rushing has some of it to do with it, but apparently only 2 out of the 3 teams I listed that are ahead of them weren't, or two of the other 2 teams aren't in the top 10 in total points.
Pittsburgh's also on a 3rd string quarterback.
Can I say something?
They are.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Speaking about last year.
Wait, hold on.
And it's gonna be quick. Speaking of last year, when you said DeMarco Murray was the leading rusher, that's why Tony Romo was in the MVP talks.
Yes.
So you can't take that away from Cam Newton with Johnny Stewart.
Okay, wait.
I'm not taking it away from him. I'm saying he has support. You're saying he has nothing out there. I'm saying he has a very strong run game. I'm not taking it away from him.
I want to get to Khalid because I asked him about the elite team. So what do you feel like dictates an elite team?
Because Rudy made a good point. He was like that the 6 teams that they've played have all losing records. I feel like they definitely need to be playing teams who have been winning the majority of their games as well to truly be classified as elite.
So
It's not their fault the other teams lost.
You can't be the best unless you beat the best, and they have beat the worst. I can't call them good for beating the worst.
But I mean, you can't say so. The
Okay.
Jaguars was
You wanna do me a
6-1.
favor?
If Jaguars 5-1 right now.
You want to do me a huge favor?
What?
Can you pull up the Titans' defensive ranks? Because stats can be deceiving, folks.
the
True.
Titans
Can you-
defense is ranked
Last time we checked,
in total yardage. The Titans defense is ranked third.
the
And-
Tennessee Titans, the 1-5 Tennessee Titans total defense is number 3 in the league. Because stats can be deceiving.
And passing defense, y'all are second.
Second in passing defense in the entire league, but they are 1-5. And this is the Titans playing teams that are better than them. The Panthers are playing teams that are clearly worse than them, that are not even that good in the
It's not
league,
their
and are
fault
putting
their
up
schedule is
good.
like that. You can't
I'm
take
not
that away
blaming
from
them. I'm not blaming them for having a bad schedule. I am saying we cannot crown them kings because they play peasants.
All right,
You
so
have to play other good people. You have to beat the best to be the best. The Patriots have consistently beat teams
Patriots,
that
Bengals.
are good. The Bengals have consistently beat teams that are good. Teams are beating teams that are just as good as them, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit overrated. But the Panthers are consistently playing garbage teams.
all right, I was just about to get to the Bengals. So if the Panthers aren't valid, well, here's who the Bengals have played. Bengals have played the Raiders. They played the Chargers.
Surprisingly good.
They played the Ravens. They played the Chiefs. They played the
Good.
Seahawks.
Chiefs are not good.
And they
Chiefs
played
are a good team.
they played the Bills. Well, the Chiefs without
Jamal Charles.
Jamal Charles
He
is
got
not a
hurt
good
during
team.
the game, did he not?
Yeah, but then without Jamal Charles is not a good team.
Hey, they won
So-
without him this week.
I know. I'm just
They're
On
not a
defense
good
alone.
team.
I'm
They
saying,
lose
but
third string.
I'm saying the Panthers have been winning without on defense alone. But you guys just said that.
Yeah, but I'm saying they're not an elite team.
I know, but I'm saying you guys just said the
So
Chiefs
what
are a
you're
good
saying
team.
is the competition that the Bengals have played isn't better than the competition that.
No, I'm just listening to I just listed the
No,
Bengals.
but I'm saying
competition for
in
the
your
sake of-
personal opinion, because you're part of this too, is the competition that you just listed for the Bengals not tougher than the competition that the Panthers have played?
Well,
Because the Raiders are better than the
The
Jaguars, the Texans, and the Saints by themselves.
the Raiders,
Yes, the Raiders are a surprisingly good team this year.
They-
Are they not?
they are. I don't know. I'll keep the Raiders on the same level as the Saints. I won't say they're better than
But
the
they
Saints.
are not. They're better
they
than the
can beat
Texans
the
and the
Jaguars.
Jaguars.
They're better than the Texans and the
No.
Jaguars. But then, I mean, I go down to the Ravens. The Ravens are 1-6 on the season. So, I mean, I can't say the Ravens are better than the Jaguars or
I
the
can't say
Texans.
that either.
So that's a team that they beat.
So you're looking,
the
you're
Chiefs,
looking at. Time out.
the
You're looking
Chiefs
at.
have
That
only
was,
won,
that was a divisional game.
and
too.
the Bills just lost.
Oh wait, hold
to
on,
the
hold on.
Jaguars.
But you were gonna give the Panthers some slack because they played the Saints for a divisional game, but the Bengals played the Ravens. That's a divisional game.
That
You
can
never know
swing
how
either
that's
way.
gonna go.
It is
You can
a
swing
divisional
any
game.
way.
It
So
is-
we're
but
gonna
I'm
give
saying-
them pass.
but
We're
I'm
gonna give them
saying
pass.
the Saints
So
also
okay,
don't
so-
only have one win on
All
the
right,
season.
so the Chiefs they have 2. The Chiefs, come on, let's.
I'm just
we're
saying,
splitting
one-
hairs. Come on.
One and two is a playoff
Come on,
spot.
Come on here.
1 and 2 is a
Time
playoff
out,
spot,
time out,
bro.
time
I'm
out.
just saying.
Time out. Come on, we're splitting hairs here. The Saints are still the same team that lost to the Buccaneers. Let's
Mhm.
let's really take this and look in perspective. Who have the Saints really beat? They beat the
The
Colts, who
Cowboys.
are not a good team,
Mhm.
and they beat the Cowboys without anyone on their team. So we're giving them a little bit too much stock to begin with, anyways.
I think it's
But-
the Drew Brees respect factor.
But it is the Drew
Yeah,
Brees
it might
respect
be that,
factor.
yeah.
But going back to it, the Chiefs are better than pretty much everyone on the Panthers schedule other than the Seahawks. The Chiefs could beat all those teams you listed, maybe other than the Seahawks.
Not right now. No.
I mean, yes, right now, because they just won without Jamal Charles.
I mean, you're an NFL team.
Against
you
the
should win some
Pittsburgh
games.
defense.
I mean, your NFL team
There's
should
no-
win some games.
there's no
That
over
goes
teams
for
in the league.
that should go for everybody.
Well, y'all,
There's no
hey,
over teams in the league.
we can talk about this. We can talk about this forever, but hey, our show's only so long. But